Korea's consumer prices rose at their fastest pace in 2.5 years last month, climbing more than 3% compared to the same month the previous year. This was mainly driven by petroleum products amid soaring global oil prices. The United States and Iran concluded a round of indirect talks in Qatar's capital. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed the meetings as very good, while Tehran also announced plans to establish a communication channel with Washington to report any possible violations of the deal signed 2 weeks ago. Despite efforts to search for survivors, the death toll from last week's devastating earthquakes in Venezuela has risen to nearly 2,300. The country's interim president has declared 7 days of mourning for the victims. Hello and thanks for joining us on Arirang News. Korea's consumer prices continued their sharp upward rally today, hitting a 30-month high. This marks the second consecutive month that headline inflation has stayed above the 3% range. Our Pick Ji starts us off. Korea's consumer prices rose at the fastest pace in 2.5 years in June, according to the Ministry of Data and Statistics on Thursday. The consumer price index rose 3.2% year-on-year last month, marking the largest growth since December 2023. Headline inflation has now stayed above the 3% mark since a 3.1% gain was recorded in May. The sharp acceleration was predominantly fueled by petroleum products due to soaring global oil prices caused by ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. The price of petroleum products spiked 24.7% from a year earlier, the largest increase since July 2022. The price of gasoline and diesel jumped 23.1% and 33.7% respectively, driving up overall industry product prices by 4.4%. However, the rally could have been steeper if not for state intervention. According to the Ministry of Finance and Economy, a government-imposed price ceiling on petroleum products, implemented since mid-March, shaved approximately 0.4 percentage points off the June inflation rate. Without this cap, the consumer price growth would have peaked at 3.6% last month.
Domestic petroleum prices are expected to decrease this month in tandem with the reduction in the price ceiling. Consequently, unless there are major fluctuations in other sectors, we anticipate a decline in the overall consumer price index as well.
The government expects inflationary pressures to ease starting this month, factoring in recent drops in international oil prices and subsequent adjustment to the domestic price cap. Moving into the second half of the year, the government aims to cap inflation below the 3% range by deploying an economic stabilization package worth 1 trillion won, or approximately $643 million. Baek Ju-hee, Arirang News. And South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has pledged his full support for massive private sector investment in Korea's central Chungcheong region. Speaking at an event to announce the investment on Thursday, Lee thanked companies including Samsung Group, SK Hynix, and Celltrion for committing a combined 392 trillion Korean won, roughly $252 billion. The investment will span displays, semiconductors, AI data centers, batteries, and biohealth. The president vowed to use every available measure to ensure the products deliver results. To that end, the government will launch a dedicated task force and develop an investment support plan within 100 days. Korea's benchmark KOSPI plummeted at the opening bell this morning to below the 7,900 level, triggering a temporary halt on program trading. The Korea Exchange activated a sidecar at 9:07 a.m., suspending program sell orders for 5 minutes. The halt was prompted by a sharp drop in the KOSPI 200 futures index, which tumbled around 6% to 1,255.94. A sell sidecar takes effect when the futures index falls by 5% or more for over a minute. The KOSPI dropped more than 5% in morning trade, dropping below 8,000 points to the 7,800 range. As of 9:30 a.m., the benchmark index stood at around 7,800, nearly 6% down from the day before. A traditional Korean drink is making another push into the U.S. mainstream market. Sikhye, a Korean rice-based non-alcoholic punch, is seeking a bigger presence at Costco stores in the United States. Our Kim Se-young has the details.
Moon is Korea's first officially recognized grandmaster of sikhye, a Korean rice punch. His version of the traditional drink uses hemi, a hulled barley variety developed by the Rural Development Administration specifically for making barley malt.
We soak the malted barley in water for 15 hours. Then we press the soaked malt to extract the liquid.
The extract is mixed with steamed rice and naturally sweetened. This old-style Korean sikhye can be found at Costco in the United States. With the help of a Korean-American buyer, Moon's traditional sikhye was sold at Costco for the first time in March. It was placed in 27 Costco locations, 7 in Hawaii, and 20 in the Los Angeles area. For American consumers, the product was adjusted slightly. The rice grains, which can be unfamiliar to some first-time drinkers, were removed.
My hope is to turn our traditional drink into a global product. If it could become global like Coke, I think it would make Koreans proud.
But the early rollout showed both the product potential and the challenges ahead. Sales were strong in areas with large Korean communities, but weaker elsewhere.
With RDA's patented technology, we will work harder as partners in helping bring this product to the global market.
Some consumers added that sikhye is popular in Korea, but still not widely known in the global market. Still, sikhye has enough potential as a competitive K-food product, and that another push into Costco is planned for the second half of the year. Kim Seoyoung, Arirang News.
U.S. President Donald Trump says talks with Iran are progressing well, with both sides reporting positive momentum following a new round of negotiations in Qatar. The discussions focused on maintaining a ceasefire, securing shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, and advancing efforts toward a broader agreement between Washington and Tehran. Our Lee Seung-jae reports.
The United States and Iran reported further progress on Wednesday as the two sides held another round of talks aimed at preserving a fragile ceasefire and ensuring safe shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking to reporters, President Donald Trump said relations with Tehran were improving and described recent meetings in Qatar as productive.
The denuclearization of Iran is moving along well. They've had very good meetings, and we'll see. We hit them very hard for 3 nights, as you know, but we're getting along very well.
The latest technical talks were held in Doha, where U.S. and Iranian officials focused on shipping arrangements through the Strait of Hormuz and measures to secure a lasting peace agreement. Sources familiar with the discussions said Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff met separately with Qatari officials ahead of the talks, while Qatar and Pakistan continue their role as mediators. Iran also announced plans to establish a communication channel with the U.S. to report possible violations of the Memorandum of Understanding signed 2 weeks ago to end the conflict. Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem Garibabadi said part of Iran's $6 billion of previously frozen assets would be used to purchase goods needed by the country. Meanwhile, Qatar said the latest round of indirect talks ended with positive progress, with both sides agreeing to continue discussions after the funeral ceremonies for former Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei have concluded. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
The death toll from the devastating series of earthquakes in Venezuela has risen to over 2,000. A week-long period of mourning has been announced as international organizations plead for emergency assistance. Our Oh Soo-young has more.
Rescue efforts continue across Venezuela for missing people trapped beneath collapsed buildings. Over a week has passed since a series of powerful earthquakes struck the country, but families of the missing remain at the disaster sites, holding on to hope that their loved ones may still be found.
I have a missing cousin. Her name is Freydalyn Subero. We are still searching for her. She was in the OPP 27 building complex. And from there, we don't know anything more. She was with her partner, but we have tried to search for them everywhere, in hospitals, on lists.
As of Wednesday local time, the official death toll had climbed to 2,295. The number of injured has also reached 12,267. The Venezuelan government has declared a 7-day period of national mourning in honor of those who have lost their lives. Acting Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez wrote on social media that Venezuela's soul is being torn apart by the pain of the lives lost in the earthquake. Some 59,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed by the twin earthquakes, which hit seconds apart with magnitudes of 7.2 and 7.5, according to Oregon State University researchers using satellite images. The International Rescue Committee said disruptions to water and electricity supplies are making it difficult to secure safe drinking water and maintain proper sanitation. The United Nations World Food Programme appealed for $50 million in funding to provide emergency food assistance to as many as 5,000 people over the next 3 months.
Recovery will be a marathon, not a sprint. Sustained support for the people of Venezuela is critical, and it's exactly what we're doing.
The World Health Organization also warned that Venezuela's healthcare facilities have exceeded their capacity, raising the risk of a major outbreak of infectious diseases. Chungcheong, Arirang News.
Clear communication is essential on construction sites where safety is always a top priority. An AI translator is now breaking down language barriers for foreign workers. Our Kim Junong reports.
It's 7 in the morning and some 700 workers gather at this construction site in Seoul for the day's safety briefing. As the safety manager speaks into the microphone, his words simultaneously appear on screens in Korean, Chinese, and Vietnamese. Making this all possible is an AI translator.
There was a lot I couldn't understand in Korean. Now AI translates everything into my native language, so it's much easier to work. It's accurate, and my co-workers like it too.
At this construction site, 40% of the workers are foreign nationals. As more come from overseas, Korean builders are using artificial intelligence to make communication easier. Co-developed by Lotte Group's construction and IT services units, this translator supports 20 languages and even understands construction jargon and on-site slang. By scanning a QR code, workers can select their language and instantly access translations on their phones. The technology speeds up communication, making the work process more efficient.
I supervise Chinese workers on site. It used to take more than 20 minutes to relay instructions because I had to translate everything myself. Now everyone reads the translations, so it takes less than 5 minutes.
The system emerged as an alternative to general-purpose translation tools, which often fail to recognize construction jargon or maintain accuracy in noisy environments. This in turn enables clearer communication in an environment where safety comes first.
There are a lot of noisy and hazardous operations here. The better workers understand our safety instructions, the safer everyone is.
Built on speech-to-text technology, the system keeps getting smarter.
We trained the AI on 300 hours of on-site audio, including background noise. We then built a terminology database to help it recognize construction-specific expressions.
As construction sites become more multilingual, artificial intelligence is becoming a safety solution that benefits both builders and workers. Kim Junong, Arirang News.
One of Korea's biggest food events, the annual Chimac Festival, is now underway in Daegu. Despite the sweltering heat, visitors are gathering to enjoy the country's favorite summertime pairing, fried chicken and ice-cold beer. Our correspondent Hong Sejang was there.
The 2026 Daegu Chimac Festival officially got underway Wednesday at Turyo Park in Daegu. The festival celebrates Chimac, Korea's beloved combination of crispy fried chicken and ice-cold beer, or 맥주 in Korean. As Daegu is one of the hottest places in Korea during the summer, local residents as well as others from across the nation gathered to beat the heat with some Chimac. Beyond ice-cold beer and fried chicken, The festival features water shows, EDM parties, and interactive events, offering visitors even more ways to cool off and have fun. Visitors said the festival gave them a chance to make lasting memories while enjoying the lively summer celebration.
Just being outside, enjoying cold beer and fried chicken, watching performances, dancing, getting splashed with water, it's just so much fun.
I came here to make memories with my family. Since we don't get to spend much time together, it was nice to enjoy some food and have fun as a family.
It's great. I like the chicken and the beer. The sound is good and I like the slightly old songs.
Activities such as EDM parties and beer pong added another layer of fun to the festival. More attractions are still to come, with water concerts, chicken eating contests, and beer chugging competitions scheduled through Sunday.
The Chimac Festival is expected to draw in at least 1 million people from across the country. Celebrating the attractive pairing of fried chicken and cold beer is something people just can't miss. 홍서정, 아리랑 뉴스, 대구. 짠!
This is The World Now, bringing you everything you need to know from around the globe. Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh said inflation risks have eased in recent weeks, but the Fed is determined to bring inflation back to the U.S. Central Bank's 2% target. Warsh also pledged to keep the central bank independent, pushing back against President Trump's repeated demands for rate cuts. Speaking at a central banking forum in Portugal on Wednesday, Warsh said inflation expectations had come down over his first 4 weeks in the job and vowed the Fed would deliver price stability. He declined to say whether the bank would raise rates at its meeting later this month, sticking to his refusal to offer forward guidance and calling the coming debate a, quote, good family fight. Warsh said the Fed would remain free from political pressure, noting the Supreme Court ruling this week that let Governor Lisa Cook keep her job reaffirmed how the bank earns independence by meeting its goals. U.S. President Donald Trump's personal income surged past $2.2 billion in the first year of his second term, with cryptocurrency ventures bringing in $1.4 billion and dwarfing his famed real estate empire. Financial disclosures showed on Tuesday that his companies received almost $800 million from World Liberty Financial, the crypto venture he and his sons co-founded, plus another $635 million in meme coin royalties. That crypto income leaped ninefold from the previous year. His golf and resort revenue also rose 15% to over $500 million, with Mar-a-Lago income jumping to $77 million. Trump's investment accounts more than tripled to at least $858 million, logging over 20,000 trades last year. A White House spokesperson said neither Trump nor his family has ever engaged in conflicts of interest. In Mexico City, 4 people died during late-night street celebrations after 1 million fans celebrated Mexico's World Cup win over Ecuador. City health officials said Wednesday that 3 people died of asphyxiation along Paseo de la Reforma, where giant screens had been set up for the match, adding later that another man had died following seizures. Authorities gave no further information regarding the deaths. However, local media reported that a deadly crush was triggered by pyrotechnics that sparked panic, sending people running and trampling others. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum said prosecutors would investigate and urge fans to celebrate responsibly ahead of Mexico's last 16 match against England on Sunday. In New York, police arrested a Russian couple after they scaled the antenna of the Empire State Building on Wednesday and unfurled a banner about the power of love in what appeared to be a high-altitude marriage proposal. Dressed in black and wearing masks, but apparently without safety tethers, the pair balanced on a narrow ledge more than 1,400 feet above Manhattan. Helicopter footage showed one appearing to get down on one knee while the other examined a ring. When officers climbed up to intercept them, an off-camera voice replied that the couple were engaged. Both were taken into custody and no one was injured. Chu Ji-han, Arirang News.
Monsoon rain is taking a short pause today, but don't put your umbrella away just yet. Most inland regions could see heavy passing rain of 5 to 60 millimeters in the afternoon, along with strong winds and thunderstorms. And despite the break from steady rain, with the humidity staying high, it's going to feel muggy throughout the day. Most major cities will see highs at 29 degrees Celsius, but Daejeon will be warmer at 30 degrees. But feels like temperatures will be a couple of degrees higher than these indicated temperatures. Looking ahead, monsoon rain returns to Jeju-do Island tomorrow afternoon as the stationary front moves up north. Then on Saturday, rain will spread across the southern regions, then expand nationwide on Monday, bringing first monsoon rain of the season to the capital area.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.